are live on our Twitch, on our YouTube, and on the DGG kit. So, give it a try.
Any announcements, Sophie? Anything we have to announce people? Let them know. Register to vote. Check your registration. All that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Win this upcoming fucking midterm debate. Not debates. Midterm voting
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Go to
This
digitalgroundgame.org/register. And in just a moment, I will put that in the chat because if you head over there, we are partnered with a company called Rally, and they are helping us to ensure that the crazy purges that are happening with voter rolls are not as
Bro.
damaging. So again, go to digitalgroundgame.org/register. If someone wouldn't mind throwing that in the chat, that would be very helpful to me because I'm doing 8 things. Sorry.
Real shit.
But yeah, and yeah, please help us out because we also get a little bit of change, I think.
Moolah.
So yeah, we definitely want that.
Buddha. Buddha's hot miking.
I hear it. I hear it.
Sorry. You're good.
It's okay.
All right. So, it's Memorial Weekend. Thank all of our, I guess, just remembering those that have served for our country and stuff. And with that, we're going to have a little debate about, does America still have a shared national identity? On the yes side, that's Buddha, and on the no side is Rone. So if you get the timer pulled up, we can start this. Also, some breaking news. Apparently, there were some shots at the White House. So that is some breaking news.
Again.
Again, yes. And then also crazy shit going on in D-Man's world, as always.
Yeah.
Bridge burning with Connor.
I heard about that.
Shit is crazy. But you know what? We're gonna let go of all that for the next. Oh yeah. For the next hour or two, we're gonna be doing some debates. All right. Any preference on going first, Buddha or Rone?
Nope, none at all.
All right, I'll say Buddha then. Your 2-minute intro starts now. Buddha, go for it.
Okay. So the prompt as it was given to me is, does America still have a shared national identity? This is a strange question for me, and I'll admit I kind of never gave it much thought, especially with, personally, now with the country as it is, I'm disappointed and even discussed it. So the knee-jerk response was, no, of course not. Tensions have never been higher. We're divided on every level in this country, and we hear it all the time. But after I gave it a little bit of thought, still have a national identity, still have a shared national identity. This would assume that we had one at some point. So when was it? How long ago did we stop having it? Was it in the Obama years, fallout of 9/11, Vietnam, World War II, World War I, turn of the century with the Depression, the Civil War, and the Reconstruction after? Or
1 minute.
has it not been there since the revolution itself? If through all of these moments of division, distress, a literal civil war, we can claim to have a shared national identity, I'm left to assume one of two things. We never had one to begin with, or we in fact still do have one. And that's what I'm looking to debate here tonight, is to show not only what that national identity is, but showing that it persists to this very day. Um, the bedrocks of it being kind of founded in the founding documents of our nation, the Constitution, amendments thereof, and the Bill of Rights. With that, I'll yield the rest of my time.
All right. Well, restart it there. 2 minutes for Rome. You good?
Yeah.
All right, your time starts now.
I personally, I was shocked that I was even allowed to pick the no option. I not gonna lie, I think it's pretty obvious that we're in a time of turmoil in which like our national identity is shaken, and probably in a state of just outright non-existence. um, I would argue that the American national identity is sort of centered around the idea that your birth does not determine your worth. Even like Marco Rubio would agree with this. Um, and we probably since the Civil War have never been so antithetical to that idea. Um, and I would argue that that this country has had certain periods in time in which like its national identity has been in and out.
1 minute.
Obviously, like what Buddha provided, like during the Civil War, like pretty hard to argue we have a unified national identity back then. But America has always been in this state of constructing and deconstructing its national identity, figuring out what it's about, and figuring out how to best proceed when it comes to progress in our ideals. And with that, I yield my time.
All right. I guess both of these debaters are very hungry to get into the open section. Was it 35 minutes? Yeah. All right. I guess if you guys want this, fucking go at it. 35 minutes starting now.
Let's do it.
All right. First question that I would just have then is if you had to pick broad, very broad, I don't care. When did America have a shared national identity then, or has it ever?
Um, I would say it has had a shared national identity multiple times, and then lost it multiple times. Like obviously we had a shared national identity during the Revolutionary period, right? Like I don't even think you could form a nation without an identity on like a national level.
Yeah,
Um,
full agree.
uh, I think obviously then there's a hiccup during the Civil War, like for
Just a little one.
just a little. Um, even like World War II. I feel like we don't really have a national identity until we get involved in it. Um, I think one of the products of a national identity is a sort of boost to the presidency when we go to war, because war is something that's existentially unifying. And I think people like to talk about George Bush as if he you know like was sneaking away somewhere while nobody was paying attention and he pressed the go to war button. But like the reality is that people wanted to go to war after nine
Yeah,
eleven.
yeah. I'm old enough that I very much remember the
Oh,
rah
thank
rah
God.
America of it all.
No, yeah, yeah, I would definitely think during 9/11 we had a shared national identity. Um
Okay,
and
if I can
then
just push
yeah.
back in this small way, at least on this first point, I know you probably have more about what it means to have a shared national identity, but with the presidency itself, in in America, there is a notion. I mean, under Trump one, people are not its president. The counterculture movements of the '60s kind of highlight, like the anti-war movement for Vietnam, was very, very American. I would argue, and that went in the face of the presidency.
Mm. Wait, but sorry, what is the point you're making?
Um, I'm just challenging the notion that like a strong president might lend itself more to kind of, I don't know, putting a ticker tape on the idea of a national identity, but it's more so with the people of the nation itself.
I would say it's more what I mean by like a boost during wartime is that like both sides will typically just be like, okay, like I'm gonna support the troops. Like, but here we literally saw for probably the first time in polling history, like the president's approval rating probably went down after he after he got us into a war for like literally no reason. And like a third of this country, like supports this guy, but half of them still are on the fence. Uh, like another third of this country like is against this guy, but half of them are like vying for power within like their own like the Democratic Party, and then another third of this country just doesn't even give a fuck about like a guy who's sending us into war for no justifiable reason. Like I would go ahead and say like even like the political parties themselves don't have like a unified identity. So obviously like you can't argue that like the country has an identity.
Yeah, no,
Like, you would
Yeah, I
agree that,
would.
like, the Democratic Party is currently in, like, a bit of a civil war where, liberals and leftists are vying for the identity of the party. And, like, even the Republican Party, like, you have your MAGA mob who are just temperature reading whether something's
Yeah,
pro-Trump or anti-Trump, and then your MAGA influencers are all just waiting for him to die.
yeah, yeah. I won't argue any of the division in both, both major political parties in the country. Um, with the with national identity, we can look at political structures. Sure, we can look at shared history. One of the things that I kept coming back to, and hey, I'll be the first to admit that it's partially a lie, but the American myths, uh, the myths about America, things of independence, free speech, things like things that aren't even now with our president, who is literally shitting on a lot of those ideals. I would bet a lot of money that the people who support him still think those things are good, even if we disagree on the particulars of what that means.
Oh, I would agree with you there. Like, I'm not trying to say these people are monsters, but like they're not engaging in the kind of thinking that like a national identity would require, right? Like they're not engaging with like the news as if like, oh my god, like we gotta spread democracy. Like these are our ideals. Like they're killing their people over there. Like we're not thinking about it like that. We're just like they're literally just engaging in a sort of is this good for my guy or is this bad for my guy? No, if it's bad for my guy, I don't like it. Like and like that's how like a huge chunk of this country is like just operating with this guy. Like I don't think you can support Donald Trump and say you have values personally.
Well, listen, you're never going to find me on the side defending Donald Trump. I'm pulling this more towards kind of the intrinsic link of supporting specific political movements. That I think we can just agree that the term shared national identity is wildly vague.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, I agree with that. Let's narrow it down. I mean, I spouted it that like the thing that like our national identity typically centers around is the idea that like birth does not determine worth, right? Like
wait,
we
I'm sorry,
literally
what?
overthrew a monarchy. Like it's we
Okay, yeah,
we
yeah, that's
emancipated slavery because we thought, hey, like maybe you shouldn't be enslaved because of the color of your skin. And now right now we're sort of contending with that identity, especially with ICE. Like, hey, just because you're fucking like Mexican doesn't mean you should be deprived of your rights. um
well,
no,
there's always
one
been
party doesn't think
huge.
that though nowadays.
Yeah, there's always been hugely xenophobic beliefs held in this country. Just
And
going
we've
back
always
to,
combated against them.
yeah, I mean, like we're doing now. Um, I would argue that while this is a point of turbulence, I don't think it destroys the quote unquote national identity. Because even speaking to people, uh, I'm not even gonna go into anecdotes with that. Um, with the people that support Trump, by and large, they do so because they think it will help them in some strange way. Um,
Well, they think that will help them because they perceive the people he's hurting as their enemies.
yeah. What's more
So
American than that?
but well, no, it is an us versus them dynamic that he has presented them, right? Like he's constantly saying, like they're gonna come after you, like they're your enemies. No, no, no.
Yeah, like the fucking mix and the Italians, in the 1900s.
No. Uh, Not too familiar with that, but
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just leaning more on the fact of there were notions of even indentured servitude for Irish immigrants coming over turn of the century. Of like we just didn't want not Americans. We've never been able to. We have the lie that we tell that lauded President Reagan once said of anyone can be American, but day to day we fight with that. And I think part of that struggle, part of the push and pull of, I mean, even just claiming who can be American is part of our national identity, where we are the great melting pot. So
Well, I would argue
flare-ups.
there's a difference between our history and our identity. Our history is the foundation of which we build an identity, but but a national identity like has certain functions to it. Like I illustrated before, like one of the function is like rallying behind the troops. Um, like again, like I would argue we absolutely had a national identity under like after 9/11. Um, and yeah, like you're seeing a lot of those functions of a national identity just completely missing from our society.
Uh, I get the point with the non-existent support for the current war, not war, peace. I don't know if it's still going on.
I mean, it's a war.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like it's literally probably war is probably the most like revered thing in like ever. Like everybody knows how horrible it is. Like
Well,
especially in today's society, modern media and all that.
usually we don't have a drunk child at the
Y-
the levers of
Usually,
power.
because usually we
We've
have
had
some kind
children,
of
we've had
set of
drunks.
values that prevent us from having a drunk child in office.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
that
sorry. Every time
goes.
this guy gets me so mad. Not you, like Donald Trump.
Yeah, with the terms of history not being the identity, I'll go with that. But the notion of a shared history, I mean, that's why that's a big part of nation building its identity is like a shared history. That's the whole reason Christopher Columbus became the person who founded America, was to kind of whip the Italians into feeling more
Yeah,
American.
ironically it was a progressive attempt.
Yeah, yeah.
But the funny thing about progressivism is that the stuff that's progressive yesterday is, if it works, is no longer progressive today.
Yeah. So going along with that, just skimming through my notes of when I was trying to define this term of shared national identity, a lot of things came up that sort of do and don't apply to America, like a shared ethnic group that has caused a lot of issues in this country. Part of those flare-ups, I mean, like the actual conflict that we find ourselves in America constantly. I, I would argue a lot of those build our national identity, a lot of the ethnic division and then assimilation that happens.
uh, mm, Maybe, but I'm not sure where you're getting at.
So just pushing into the fact of a history doesn't make national identity.
Yeah, I mean, it provides it provides like material to build upon, right? Like it provides a foundation for a national identity. But it like just having shared history is not enough.
No, no. No, there is language. Majority of this country speaks English.
Mhm.
So with the language and history, then we go to values. And with a lot of these values, I don't know how we do with polling data here.
Well, I would argue
Um,
the Republican Party has no values. Like they've given up on values.
they don't think they did.
Yeah, but of course they're going to say that because it's within their interest to say that.
I
Like,
can't read. I can't read minds.
it's
So
not
I have
about
to
reading minds. It's about like actions, right? Like if you have a value, you'll follow a certain set of actions. Like you'll
from
follow a certain set of actions. Like if I'm hungry, I'm going to go get something to eat.
yes, but if I am hungry and don't think I should eat meat, I would forage a lot deeper, and my actions would look a lot
Yeah,
weird if there's a cow
yeah,
right in front of me.
yes, because your values, your actions are shown. Sorry, your values are shown through your actions. And like they have persistently showed that they will abandon any stated value for the sake of power.
Okay, so the
Like when you
Republican.
have a party, when you have a major political party like the Republican Party that is actively antagonistic towards like like values, um, I think I think it's possible to have a national identity under these circumstances.
You think it's possible or impossible?
Impossible until like something changes. Like the media environment has to change. Like the Republicans have to get their asses kicked. Like there has to be like some kind of
You're saying things that
response.
I want to happen, but Yeah, it's God, I don't like how much feels are kind of the broad swath of this debate,
Well,
but
unfortunately, like, we're talking about identity, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I mean, we can route this in like actions. Like, if like you would agree that America had a national identity under 9/11, right?
Yes.
So since you know,
Just to
again,
be
like,
clear, I would actually argue we've had a national identity the whole time.
yes, that is what you're arguing. But I think even I would agree that like America, like there was the presence of a national identity during 9/11. Um, and you would agree that like a lot of the functions of our society under that environment like are just not present in today's society, such as like the support for the troops, the sort of willingness
Well,
to.
well, okay, so this is going to be I'm going to be splitting hairs here. Um, the support of the troops broadly, it's I mean, I would have to pull this up, but the war efforts don't have support. The military itself still receives broad support. I mean, shit, even with the stuff we did in Venezuela, that stuff was barely a blip.
uh, y-
So it's more of the notion of like the military itself is respected and revered and paid a lot in this country. But this specific war effort, yeah, it isn't getting support.
yeah, like
Um,
well, a national identity, like if we had one, we wouldn't go to war unless the country wanted to. And like the fact that like the guy who started this whole thing is still at like what 37% approval. It should be like 2%. But like um
yeah,
yeah, the
I
fact.
I just come back to the fact that it, this is America's national identity of like it has just reached an extreme point of it has finally hit both political parties of with counter and counterculture movements. We've never seen anything this actively hostile, hold levers of power against the interests of its own people.
Would you okay? Would you acknowledge that like a shared reality is probably necessary for a shared identity?
I, here's the thing: I actually wouldn't,
Uh, okay. What's
and
the
and
thing?
and the main hinge of that being religion.
uh, n-
We've been a nation of X amount of religions for up until 9/11, up till the last point that we can both agree there's a shared national identity. And with different creators of the universes and a whole different meta ethics stretching all the way into the infinite, we've you
I
know
mean,
we've
if we
we've
want to
still
go this
like
route, I could evoke like, well, the whole point of Nietzsche saying God is dead is because we don't actually treat the Bible as being metaphysically true anymore. If you'd like, but that would be kind of
did
boring.
Nietzsche do anything with the Quran or the Torah?
I mean, when he said God is dead, he meant all religions. He meant like we don't look to religion the same way as we look to science. Like he was talking about a kind of metaphysical revolution.
Hmm.
Like for example, like a Christian in like the 1950s is not gonna like burn somebody at the stake like they would in the 1800s.
Uh, oh,
Well,
50s, 50s, 50s.
generally speaking, I guess there
Yeah,
might be some
yeah,
kind of
19,
cult, like,
yeah,
but barring that,
yeah,
like,
because I mean, there's things like I mean, all these things of like restricting rights to like all the way to gay religion that didn't come around till what, like 2012.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I get what you mean. I will agree with the broad notion just so we can move forward.
that yes, that so again,
Yes, I'll agree
I,
with
I
the
have to I
the
have to ask,
shared
yeah, like, do we like can you have a shared national identity without a shared reality?
shared national identity without a shared reality. God, I'm gonna be a dickhead. I'm gonna say
You
I'm
have to
gonna
be.
say
You can't
yes.
say you. I mean, yes, you have to say yes. But
No, I could end it right here. I mean, I'm not holding gunpoint for this position. We could end it here, but I truly don't think so.
wait,
Just
sorry,
because
you don't think that it's impossible, or you don't think
I
it's
don't think it's impossible to have a shared national identity without a shared reality.
uh see, I would sort of like my instincts sort of go, well, like, well, hold on, like Superman and Luke Skywalker like can't really relate to each other because they're in different universes. like like they operate on different kinds of
Well, if we could, I
rules.
mean, good lord, I don't know how far I want to go down this, but if we assume that Galactic Common is English or Cal could
No,
learn it,
I don't want to get too into the weeds.
I'm sure they could bond over daddy issues.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that like you sort of you almost intuitively need a shared reality to have a shared identity. I guess like one argument would be like how Wittgenstein talks about like the beetle in the box. Um, like if let's say we both have a box, and inside this box we both call it a beetle, but inside my box is a hammer, and inside your box is a toothbrush. If I were to say to you, like, "Oh, you're gonna go brush your teeth with that beetle," and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? No, I'm gonna go, build a house with it." like, there's gonna be a lot of confusion. Like, you sort of you have to have like a shared set of like facts in order to build an identity upon those facts. And if you're building your identity upon shared facts, or like you can build a shared identity, but without shared facts, yeah, I don't think you have the material to do that.
Okay. Okay. I get your point here with that.
Like the
Okay.
conversation doesn't even allow for a shared identity.
Okay. But I would okay, then with that specifically, I would push that like even though I would use the term we don't live in a shared reality, I don't think it's to that extent that it breaks down like the national identity.
I mean, you would agree that like we've never had an information environment like this, right? Like this is pretty unprecedented.
Just technologically, yeah, obviously.
No, but like informationally, like even
Yeah.
the way that like even like CNN has just changed dramatically from like
Yeah,
1990.
and I mean, hell, in the past 5 years.
Yeah, in the past, yeah, literally, like even the past like 3 years. Um, yeah, and I like our media environment has. I was about to say never, but yellow journalism existed, but yellow journalism was it was a bit more it was a bit more nobly selfish. It was just people just trying to gain power for themselves personally. This is a, like this is a cult. This is a weird sort of cult that has infected our politics, where it's like they can literally watch the same video of like Renee Good just getting shot in the face as the cop calls her like a fucking bitch after she's like, "I'm not even mad at you, bro." And they can be like, "Oh, well, she was clearly trying to run him over." And like, you know what I mean? Like they can literally look at video footage and then perceive a completely different set of facts.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, while they can do that, it's a bit more difficult for me to pivot into this because I mean, at least with a lot of these events, I would just assume we're on the same side of ooh, let me even try and think of something on the other side, but like essentially a situation in which uh those not on the deranged side of the political landscape right now um would see essentially active enforcement of law as a good thing.
Yeah, but that wasn't law enforcement. That was like a state execution.
States execute people as a matter of law, but that's fully not what I'm arguing with that. It's more of the like again the very broad notions of things like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, free press, like the things that the country was founded on, even if it wasn't even true then. The idea of people free land for free men while we owned slaves. It was a lie back then, but it doesn't make the identity less true. Just like with these dissident positions happening now, doesn't exactly eliminate like a shared national identity.
Uh, sure, but like, it's not really like, like, it's not like a case of abolition where it's like, okay, like there's like we're clearly doing some pretty fucked up shit to people. Like, well, yeah, I don't think they're really real. Like like it's a little bit different where it's like, no, you don't understand. There is no war in Bossing. Like, it's just they will look at the video of George Floyd and just be like, there's no way that knee could have possibly had anything to do with this. Like, it's just it's more fundamental than just like, oh, we have a disagreement about this one thing.
Yeah, yeah. But that's not what I'm talking about with these essentially outcomes. I'm saying that the bedrock, the thing that they're built on
I
is the
agree there
same.
can be contradictions in order and an identity. Like, that's true. But like, there can't be this many. Like, and it can't be this wildly off. Um like, you would like the president of the United States currently does not give a fuck about anybody but himself personally.
Correct.
Um and like, he has a cult of people who are just obsessed with stroking his dick, and like, at the expense of the country, at the expense of the things they made him promise to do. At like, he was they made it like they demanded the release of the Epstein files. He is the one like covering them up.
Uh,
He is
yeah.
actively
So,
involved in like
yeah. So
illegally withholding millions of files. Um
again,
like,
with all of these
no new
these
wars, war in
yeah,
Iran.
with all
Like,
of these
yeah.
outcomes at the top, the nation of the identity remains the same throughout all of our actions, all of our we could commit, and we had before this, we had throughout all the 1900s, committed some absolutely heinous acts across the world, and we had a shared national identity. The only thing that's happening now
Yeah, because we were
is
doing
because of
those
the information
together.
landscape.
We were doing those heinous things as one. Like,
No, we weren't. There was huge debates and counterculture movements to a lot of those things. We just don't really talk about it now because it goes back to the shared history, and we make myths as we move past them. And that builds into what we have as our uh, national identity today.
I mean, yeah, there have been struggles for sure, but this is very, very different from that. This isn't like a again, like a struggle over, like whether or not we should be like nice to certain groups of
Do
people that.
do you think that the people who support the Republican Party, eh, well, hate this country, would say that they hate
Yes,
this
yeah,
country?
absolutely.
You think that they would say they hate America?
They wouldn't say it, but they do. They hate what this country represents.
Their actions lead you to believe that.
Yes.
I obviously everything they say and what they believe
is
would.
just is just a convenient outfit that they wear.
Okay, I don't exactly know how to scale over this, but I'm going to keep trying.
Please do.
Yeah. So day to day, I fuck it. We're in the last bit of this. I'm just
Yeah, that's
going
great.
to
Yeah,
fully
go for it.
go.
Go
Let's
ahead, throw
go.
it, please.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I got no fucking.
Sorry.
I got no reason to be mean, but I'm just gonna go into fucking
Do
anecdotes
it.
at this point. So
Do it.
I work at I'm a counselor at drug and alcohol rehab.
Oh shit.
We have everyone in my facility of my clients. So many of them are big fans of Trump. These are people who have been homeless for years, in and out of jails, been struggling with some of the worst stuff, and are receiving help from a state-funded institution.
Mm.
From a bunch of fucking liberal art wannabes as the counselors.
Mm.
These people are my countrymen. They're my kin. They hold a lot of the same values that I do. The way that they articulate and the way that they move from there differs from mine. I don't know exactly where the breakdown of that happens, but at the end of the day, I believe our national identities are the same as Americans. And just the breakout of essentially, while this is extreme what we were dealing with now, we literally had a fucking civil war in the 1800s over it. And even then, even when there was that big disagreement through it all, the South was still standing on a part of American national identity. It's one I disagree with in the outcome, but the idea of "fuck you, you can't tell me what I can do" is something that stands
Except
very prevalent.
if fuck you, you can't tell me that I can't tell this guy what to do. Like that's
Yeah.
what they're.
Well, they didn't believe that they were guys.
Yeah.
They weren't people. But again, I don't know how I wound it up on this side that I'm giving a pro-Confederate argument, but
I would argue that. Like,
the
okay.
notion of a nation is a lot stronger than its
seen this?
outcomes.
Sorry, there's a they're coming after you. Sorry, have you seen this video of this guy saying more or less like MAGA is the last breath of the Confederacy?
No, but no.
All right, well, I mean, it got some traction, and I would say that like absolutely that is sort of the case. They saw a black man was president, and so they just hate the government unless like they have their boy in office, and their boy in office is
We
just
literally had a party of the KKK, and through McCarthyism, the Reagan years, where it was rampant racism and homophobia and legislation against them both.
I would say those people didn't hate America; they just hated black people.
But it's the very same thing that we're dealing with now. They disagree with who's
No,
American.
today they hate where the country is at. They don't like the fact that gay people get married. They don't
No
like
one
the
likes
fact
where
that
the
like, women
country
can
is
vote.
at. You and I don't like where the country is at.
Nice. No, I absolutely. I mean, I don't like who's president, but I like I like the fact that gay people can get married. I like the fact that like non-binary and trans people are like more accepted today than ever.
Those are two things you like. There's a bunch of things you don't like. That's why we push forward. That's why we
no, but
join political action orgs.
No, but there is significant progress that has been made since the 1950s, right?
For what we agree as progress, pushing for what you want. That's another
objective, as in like the prosperity of human beings, like regardless of whatever you want to consider as a human being. It's got two arms, two legs, a mouth, and whatever.
Don't put that on me. I'm
sorry. But human beings are generally like more prosperous within our culture. We don't have like race-oriented bathrooms and water fountains anymore. And,
I agree with all of this, but it's not outcome oriented.
I'm not trying to say it is outcome oriented, but our society strives for these kinds of social dynamics that that I would argue the Republican Party at large
it says it does now,
is
but if those sides didn't win, it would be a different story.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
So like with the Civil War, like an alternate history of it turning around, of burning Sherman, not doing his work. It could be a different history of with how, and I agree with you. That's this is what making it hard for me to get words out with this. Is I agree with what your direction of progressivism is. But progress is for what these people want, what Americans want. And part of our identity is pushing for what you want.
Yeah, and these people want a reverse to the things that everybody wants. They actively want to hurt that. Like they want to hurt the general sense of progress. And I would argue that like the vast majority of Republicans, like if they knew what they were doing, would stop. They would be like, actually, wait a second, hold on,
time out. You're not allowed to say that. That's a shared national identity. If they knew what they were doing.
Well, what they don't know what they're doing, how can they identify with it?
Because they don't know. You're telling me if that they had the right.
They don't know. How could they? But they can't identify with something. Like I can't identify with whatever's behind like a closet if I don't see what's in the closet.
So, okay. They can. The information's not a stopgap of like a national identity for people.
I,
Like I would argue
I would argue
this
that like
I would argue
right
the
now,
slaves were American in
yeah,
you
like
know
they
pre
were
1860s.
they were
They didn't
always
know what
American.
they didn't know what the fuck that meant.
1 minute.
Um, but more or less, what I'm trying to say is like, oh god, I'm blanking. The timer got me.
Sorry. The
Yeah, I
topic
think we can
is,
call it.
does America have a shared national identity? By the way.
No, no. No, I forgot what I was going to say. Like,
No, it's okay.
I gotta end
It's
like this.
no, it's fine. It's just you're in the face of irrefutable truth. We are Americans. We have a shared national identity.
except
Even
except
though it is
except
a
a third
dark
of the
time
country
now, it's a dark
doesn't
time.
agree with what it means to be an American. Like they really do think, oh, if you're brown, like you don't belong here. Like
We've always had that
no,
since the beginning of the country. Yes, we've had
no, not like this.
the Civil War, the slaves.
And that's time.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sophie? I don't know if you something you want to say.
Well, actually, I guess before we move into closing thoughts, um,
Yes.
I genuinely think that you guys were circling the drain a little bit about the definition of national identity. Um, and I think you started to get there towards the end. I don't know if everybody believed that all slaves were American, but I would venture to say that, or at least, not more than 3/5. But I would venture to say
Yeah.
that your idea that the national identity is predicated on, you being able to surpass your birth or where you have started from your birth. I personally think that the national identity of America is one of white supremacy. Point blank period. I think that was the whole point of the Revolutionary War, that, it wasn't about tea, it was about slavery. The Civil War was about, slavery. Then even when it comes to, the 9/11 and stuff like that, that's Islamophobia. So I feel like everything, uh, kinda goes back to that. So I'm curious to know if we take that as a like a definition that the identity is white supremacy, would you agree? Would either of you agree? And if so, yeah, everything is racism. Yeah, pretty much.
I would
Um,
not agree the identity is white supremacy. I would actually
All right.
explicitly be against that.
You know what?
I think
We can get
this
into this
country
after the
has
fact.
a
1 second, Ron. We can get into
sorry.
this after the fact because we were supposed to have 2 debates, but one of them got canceled. Someone dropped out last minute. And so we'll get into your guys' closing arguments. We'll do a vote. And then after this, it feels like a lot of people inside chat really want to talk about this a little bit more. So if you guys are up for it, we can bring some people in after the official debate night ends and shit, and we already have a outcome. But yeah, let's go into closing arguments.
all right, sounds
The
good.
judges are going to pull some people up and give them your feelings and results and all that shit. Rules for decision, or sorry, reasoning for decision, RFD. But yeah, we'll go into closing arguments. That's 2 minutes, I believe.
Balls.
Buddha.
Yeah.
So no, not balls. Okay, we decided before that we're doing Buddha and not balls.
Buddha,
Okay,
Buddha, Buddha. My bad.
Buddha,
Sorry,
Buddha
sorry.
balls.
Buddha.
There we
Buddha.
go.
Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. I didn't have an idea of where that was going, so it went about kind of didn't go anywhere I could think of. So, yeah, basically at the end here with seeing what some of the major issues that we bumped into of my take on a national identity not being, predicated on shared actions or I mean even what was said about the white nationalism thing. I would concede that it's the bedrock for a lot of parts of our American identity. Uh, but we've pushed, we pushed it down. a big part of a shared national identity is the notion of Americana. It's marketing. It's what we tell ourselves it is. I I would agree it's changed constantly as our nation keeps moving forward. America's well, I'm not going to say it's unique because I didn't really look into other countries' histories of national identity, but the principles of what we tell ourselves now that this country was founded on, excuse me, the uh, freedom to determine your own outcome, the freedom to express those is what I would argue are kind of the bedrocks of a shared identity in this country. And even if people act in ways that I find abhorrent, uh, will continue to and have in the past, I would still argue that that's part of the national identity is this infinite struggle that we seem to find ourselves in. Even if we push past the current political climate, it's never going to end. It's something that is going to keep happening.
All right.
And that push and pull is the national identity. Oops, sorry, I didn't see the
No, no,
timer
you're fine.
moving.
That's
You're
perfect.
good. That's time. All right, 2 minutes to Rone. Time starts now.
To call back to American mythology, there's a character called Rip Van Winkle, and the idea is that he goes to sleep in like the 1600s, wakes up in the 1700s, and realizes like, oh, like what do you mean we're not a part of a monarchy anymore? Like, what do you mean we're a democracy? What's cool about this story is like if you do that again, right? Like from the 1700s to the 1800s, you're like, wait, what do you mean we emancipated the slaves? Like, what the fuck? Like, what country has ever done that? Um, and then another 100 years, like, what do you mean women can vote? Like, and then another 100 years, like, what the hell is a cell phone? Like America has constantly like evolved every century into something almost unrecognizable. Um, I think the timer is
No,
stop.
it's no, it's not. It's just
Okay,
a glitch. It's
okay.
fine.
And yeah, America's like identity has sort of changed along with it. But in these periods of change, it usually just sort of goes away, like in the Civil War, like even in prior to World War II, when people didn't even know if they thought they should go to war. And I would argue like it has never been more like empirically obvious that like we do not have a shared understanding of what it means to be an American. And that's my time.
All right. All right, judges, come up on stage. Get your guys' opinions.
All right, I just put the poll in the chat. So there's a straw
All right,
poll
got
in the chat.
Kenneth and Greg. If they're both cool with reading shit on. It's fine, Greg. Okay, if you're eating right now, we can have someone else talk. Okay. And also poll in the side chat. Actually, yeah, we'll give the poll in the side chat first. Let them run through that. See how they're doing.
Yeah. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Uh,
I feel like you never really know.
you
With
never truly know
Discord
if
these
people.
days.
Yeah,
Talking to
true.
the
Okay,
wall.
it's true. I think this is a very, I'd say like hard topic and shit. It's very broad and stuff. Just to give
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
overall feelings. What the fuck is Kenneth and then Greg? There's Greg. It's like fucking match, not match. Fucking guess who? Yeah.
Okay.
And there's Kenneth. Okay. Oh my god. I moved him to the audience. I'm cooking. All right. Don't give you guys' opinion yet. We'll let the chat vote. We'll just chat a little bit. But yeah, like I it's kind of hard to say like, oh, there's like a shared national identity with like how wild shit can be. So definitely like a hard thing to take the yes position and stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes like when fucking hearing like Reagan talk or where the fuck when he's like you can go to Germany but you can't become a German or whatever the fuck. Only in America can you like become an American and stuff. I think there is some like hidden gem underneath all the fucking shit, like racism and all that other shit. But yeah, it is hard to see sometimes.
There has always been like a sort of I would again argue that like what centers our idea is the idea that like your birth is not the thing that determines your worth.
Mm.
We literally fought a monarchy. Like we were like, no, if you want to rule the country, you have to be qualified. And then we elected a pedophile.
Oh, that's yeah.
In
True.
those days, it was a little old. She was a little old by those
See,
days'
we're
standards.
not
True.
keeping with the identity.
That's
No, just
hilarious.
because it evolves. Doesn't stay the same.
All right.
Alright.
Yeah. It's definitely a nebulous topic, but like I do think there's like some contention you can get into. Or like, dude, fucking who did Destiny debate over like there being a British identity? Fucking dude, fuck that guy. Holy
Oh,
shit.
Constantine
Was that
Kissin.
Constantine?
But
Yeah.
Yes,
literally,
fuck him. Oh
literally in the
my
first
god.
5 minutes, he clarified he meant the fucking white people, like the white British, the white Europeans. Like so even that is white supremacy. Like seriously.
All right. Give another minute or so for people to vote. And we'll end it there so we can get our judge's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for me to
If
close?
anyone wants to vote, give it like a minute. Yeah, give them like a last minute. I don't know why the fuck people would listen to this shit, listen to us debate for an hour, and then not even vote.
Yeah.
Goddamn Americans.
Exactly.
Like 60% of people only vote.
That's the national identity right there. Having
True,
opinions.
that's national identity.
Having
Fucking
opinions, but not actually going to
having
the
opinions and
polls.
not even fucking voting.
Yeah.
True. Oh my god.
There you go.
Real shit.
We solved it. Okay. Let's see. We got about 21 entries. I know it's a little different because we used to put it up in the chat, but no more, friends. Y'all
True.
lost your
People felt like
chat
they
poll
were
privilege.
true. They were trying to rig the vote. Okay.
Exactly.
What can I say?
Stop the count. Stop the steal. Okay.
Stop the count. True.
Let's see. Also, let's put the
True. If there was no option to spoil it. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry, true. But I'm gonna put that register link in the chat as well, friends. So make sure you go here and verify your voter registration. But don't only do it for yourself, do it for your friends,
Do it
for
for your
all of your
friends, your
family members,
family,
people you
your
hate.
Tinder dates, your Grinder dates,
Yeah,
your
exactly.
Bumble dates, your what other fucking apps are there? Holy shit.
Your people you met in
Um,
real life dates, yeah, all that.
People you meet on the street that are doing drugs.
Yeah.
Are not doing drugs.
I have a story time, friends. Okay, so I had a friend of mine who is a white man. I'm a black woman, in case you don't know, and I've known him for years, ever since I got out of college. Great guy. He's very abrasive, but he's always been pretty cool. And then he just started going slowly, more and more down the whole Stefan Molyneux track. He'd start to say things like, oh, well, black people, if they weren't so violent, it's just statistics and statistics this and statistics that. So like, I was like, where is this guy going? And so then yeah, JP. But then he was like, basically very anti-mask right around when COVID happened. And this is somebody who we made the godfather to our daughter. And when he was basically like, I'm not going to put a mask on, to come see you guys or whatever. We were like, fuck this guy. Like, so I like deaded him, right? But and he to this day would tell you like, "Oh, I'm not a Trumper. I don't fucking, I don't like Trump. I don't like what he's doing. I'm not racist and all this stuff." And so I use our lovely rally register vote, thing to
To check to see if
to
he's
check and
registered to
see
vote.
what not only is he a registered Republican, but you can see people's voting history. And sure enough, he voted for, I'm gonna guess, Republican in each of the Trump elections. And so
Damn.
yeah,
Okay.
fuck that guy. So definitely
True.
go to digitalgroundgame.org/register, put in your frenemies, put in your friends, put in your family. I did
True.
not say his
All right.
name. You can
No,
note
no,
and
that's a
dox
fucking
him.
funny ass. That's a fire ass me. Did you just dox him? Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Close the poll. No more voting.
All right.
No more. All right.
Let's see. Okay, we
What is the voting
have,
result?
let's see.
Stop the count.
24
True.
entries and oh my goodness. It is a 22-2 split.
Oh my god.
And our winner is, drumroll please, BuudaBallZ. You have
Buddha.
pretty much dominated
shit.
with
You have the chatter vote.
yeah,
And we go to the judges. Yeah.
the people's
The popular vote, someone would
the
say.
popular vote. There it is.
People's vote. You have right now. You have a mandate to do whatever you want, Buddha. Okay. If you, I have no idea.
Just don't fucking Hillary me here.
True.
Oh my
True.
gosh.
All right.
Oh.
We'll start with Kenneth. Kenneth, give us your reasoning.
Yeah, sure. So it wasn't really clear what either party meant by a national identity. I think we could have hammered that out more, but what little was kind of hammered out, I think it leaned in BuudaBall's favor. And those kind of the broad strokes of national identity.
Sorry, run that
I
past me
don't
one more time.
I don't disagree too much. It seems like they're having difficulty coming to the concession when discussing like the antebellum South and like when they're referring to Black Americans. I think that like on 3 separate occasions or two, they weren't coming to an agreement on like when referring to the antebellum South and if we had a shared identity within that period. And it was a bit drawn out. Um, but I think I have to give it to Boo the balls, I guess.
All right, and then Sophie.
I actually I agree with both of my co-judges, I guess. Like I could not actually discern a real winner. I think just because there was no real um definition of national identity or what was proposed, I don't think was agreed on with either. But I felt that Rone actually had a lot more passion and even a few more, I'd say, like historical points of reference. And so that's why I gave it to Rome.
All right, so that's 1 to Rome, 2 to Buddha, and then Buddha also got the popular vote.
Yeah.
So for this tournament section, we have Buddha moving on. Give it up for Buddha.
Congratulations, Buddha.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you so much.
Real shit.
Yeah.
All right,
Well played.
now to kick out the judges, and if you guys want, Buddha and Rone, we can bring up some callers.
Yeah,
A
sure.
lot of
Okay.
opinions. They had a lot of opinions in side chat. Okay.
Yes, there were. So say it
Also,
to
Trav,
our
that was
face.
True. Trav, that was a fire suggestion of what was it? Fuck. Let's have a debate topic on the moral ethics of snorking. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
That shit would be fire. Oh my god. All
With
right,
the
we'll start
current
with one person at a
situations.
time.
Yeah, I agree.
Howdy.
Neil Cannon. Hello. Who did you want to talk to? What did you what was your
I guess Rone. I agree more with Buddha. I think
right?
that if we have, let's say, if you have a national identity or an identity based on skepticism, does disagreeing on what to be skeptical of constitute a lack of shared identity, Rone?
If your identity is based on disagreeing with people,
Yeah, if your identity is based on disagreement.
I would say like no.
So I think for Buddha, I think a bit of his argument was effectively that like our identity is this kind of meta, um, this like kind of fighting for what you believe. It is this contention, right? That is part of our identity, right? And like I would argue that like insofar as like we're being contentious, we are actually kind of sticking to our identity, right?
Sure, but like this isn't like contentious in the same way, right? Like this is a fundamental like no, like you're evil, like right, like one side is actively saying the other side is like an enemy of the people, right? Like the enemy within, um, like this is very different, right?
I think that's always been the case, right? There's always been like a
Always?
shared an
Do you think
enemy.
it's always been the
There's always
case?
been there's always been like a demonization of the other side to some
No,
degree.
not like this. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah, I mean the north-south divide was kind of the biggest thing, you know, even like through the like after the Civil War, right, and obviously leading into the Civil War,
so,
the lack of culture, right, or like the lack of like shared problems, right, led to such a divide that we fucking started killing each other. But I still think that like to some degree, right, that constitutes like this American spirit of being fighting, being contentious, right, and not being afraid to be different, right. That's kind of just how we've always been.
I
And
agree
so
that's part of our identity, but like you acknowledge that like the Republican Party today is actively like against like just
I
like
think
a
there's
sort
a
of like
fundamental disagreement on values. Yeah, that's fine. But again, part of the identity is disagreement. It's like pushing
but if
strongly
it's a
for
fundamental
even if you're
fundamental
different.
disagreement in values, like it's fun. What does the word fundamental mean?
I mean, yeah, it was the same way through the Civil
But
War,
no,
right? A
no,
fundamental disagreement on
the
whether or
word
not black people were.
fundamental. Like you acknowledge, you agree. There's like a fundamental disagreement, right?
You can again, like you can have a fundamental disagreement on whether or
No,
not
you
like a
can't
king
have a
is
fundamental
valid,
disagreement.
right?
No, you can't. That's what makes it fundamental. It's like it's fundamental. It's necessary to exist. Like if you have a fundamental disagreement, you can't have a shared identity, right?
No, not insofar as your identity is based on again on disagreement. Like to
It,
if it's
I would argue
basically
then
if
it's not a
we
fundamental disagreement. It's just a disagreement.
I think we're disagreeing on we're disagreeing on what
We're
fundamental means.
fundamentally disagreeing.
Yeah, on
Whoa.
on fundamental. But
And yet, both American.
And yet,
True.
yeah, exactly. Right. We'll have a beer, right? It is ultimately the case, I think, that you know, this too shall pass, right? We've had
I agree with that.
contentious
Like
time.
I think I even sort of laid that out with my Rumpelstiltskin, or sorry, Rip Van Winkle.
That was a wild thing you went off of. I had no idea. I was not tracking that at all. I'll be
Just
honest.
like, let me throw this out here. Like, fuck it.
I don't think we could do that if we didn't have a shared identity, right? Like if there were there's all it'd be easy for me to go like and go to like the low hanging fruit of like, oh, is murder bad, right? And like, you know, quantify everything and like do tallies, and obviously like we're gonna find a Venn diagram that's like closer to a circle than we think.
But you acknowledge like we didn't have a shared identity during the Civil War, right? Like like it's obviously like it's just empirically
I think
true.
we were on
We're
every
at
other issue
war
but
with each
slavery
other.
probably like okay, right? Like
Well,
I
no,
think there's a wedge
there was at
issue.
least two identities for the country during the Civil War. There have to be in order
Sure,
for it to be a
it's
civil
not
war,
yeah,
right?
I mean, even then, I think like a wedge issue isn't necessarily going to destroy the full identity, right? Like
Yeah, but
even if
these
the
aren't
wedge
wedge
issue is
issues now. Like
extremely extreme
we're
in quantity or quality.
but Donald Trump isn't trying to drive a wedge issue. He's ideally trying to start a civil war. Like he's ideally trying to get Americans to hate each other. Like he literally sent a mob
Right.
of people to kill all of Congress.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
if
and like
Who
over
among
here.
us?
I don't know if it's
Among Us?
him trying to intentionally like get us to all hate each other. He might have
Oh, he
other
definitely
he
is
probably has
intentionally.
other intents, right, that aren't like
Well, I mean, he
necessarily
doesn't
good or
care about us hating
altruistic.
each other. He like that's a
He
means to
doesn't
an
care.
end.
Yeah, it's not the goal to make us hate each other. He
Yeah,
doesn't care about it. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean
But
to
even
interrupt.
yeah, but no, it's fine. But even then, like I'm just saying, I think that the you can share this meta, right, and the implementation is still it's still differ, right,
I
and
don't
it's
disagree.
still fine, right.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like there could definitely be like tensions, but like I like there's something fundamentally different about the way we consume information today. That like this isn't just a wedge issue. Like these are people existing in two different countries.
I think we can fight for different values while still agreeing that like this shared the
Without
shared like
can you
experiment
have a shared
that is
identity while
America.
fighting for zero common values? Like,
I think we all would argue that like even
but
like
if you have no common values, right? Like if you have no shared values, there's no way you could have a shared identity, right? You would acknowledge that. Like you have to have some common values.
I think we're like skipping over a lot of the values that we do actually share.
Hmm.
Right. Thank you, Neil.
Right,
for coming up.
even if we like look at January 6th, like they don't devalue democracy. Like they value it so much that they were willing to like revolt, right? It's like, you know, like
True.
from their perspective, they were like revolting to save democracy. It's like that's how
Alright.
much they valued it. So like the value of democracy to them, even, you know, it was so high that they're willing to like say fuck it and like throw everything out.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy, but
I can
Alright.
see that
Yeah.
perspective.
sorry, thank you.
All right. Anyone else want to come up and talk? Chat. Give each person like about 5 minutes. But yeah. All right. Anyone else? Oh, I saw a lot of people talking.
Yeah. You had all that shit to say.
Yeah,
Come
like,
on
quiet.
up. Say it to
No
our
hands.
voice. Come on. It's like 30
Show me your
volts.
hands. It's like a traffic stop, okay? And I'm a cop, okay? Show me your
Yeah. Put them up.
Put them up. No one?
Hands up, but don't shoot. Okay. Let's go.
True. Right.
Hi, Liv.
Yeah, that was a bad topic. You guys are bad for picking that topic, and the two people who engaged in the topic had no idea what they were talking about.
Fair enough.
Okay.
You're dumb and gay.
Bye.
Base.
Wow. Okay.
Owned.
We actually quite appreciate all feedback, all input, because this is our first tournament. So we absolutely are wanting to make sure it's as entertaining and fun for you guys as possible, as educational perhaps as possible. Because again, we're from Digital Ground Game. I know we're over here in Destiny server friends, but we're actually more about political action and empowering you to not be so black-pilled. And so the actual purpose of our debate nights is to empower you to understand how to think critically and how to go out and have these same kind of conversations with your family at the Thanksgiving dinner table or with your friends or with people you want to engage to vote. So yeah, I, saying it sucks is one thing, but we also appreciate constructive criticism if you want to let us know what you'd like to see.
True.
Be a faucet, not a drain, okay?
All right.
Hi, Happy.
Well,
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to completely, I don't know, disagree with the other guy. I mean, the conversation, these kind of like vague kind of questions, I guess they're vague, but they're like pretty important also. And I think even if the two speakers don't actually like even like agree on like terms, I think in the end, like by the time they like this kind of thing,
Can I ask?
this
Oh, unfinished.
yeah, sure.
Or go ahead.
What terms did we like not agree on? Because
Okay, I wasn't here for the entire thing, so I'm actually. But it seemed like
okay, never mind.
you,
I take it back. I take it back. I'm sorry.
I guess other people said like you guys didn't agree on even like what the whatever it was, the spirit or whatever of like like the nationality thingy or whatever, the like united national identity.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't even like define like what that means, but
Yeah.
I'm taking other people's words for it. But even if that's the case, I think it's still useful because I mean like by the end, I think people kind of got to the idea that people are selective in their values, even if they hold all of it, like hold the same values. They like obviously the Republicans will, say they champion democracy and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and so. But I mean,
the
like
Second Amendment. True.
Yeah, and
until it's someone else.
But so that kind of idea, I mean, it's become very clear now that we've had this conversation. Instead of it's better to have it than to just not.
Oh,
True.
thank you, Happy.
All right.
I couldn't agree more.
I appreciate it.
That's very
I
nice.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
You sound like
Yeah,
you're
sure.
6'4".
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the
Wait, do I?
BuudaBallZ. Yeah.
I'm freaking.
God damn.
I don't know. I think I just ate or I'm sick or something.
All right.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Thank you for coming up.
Okay, how do I get out?
Oh, we'll knock you down.
I got you.
Thanks, Happy.
I'll take you out. Poof. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, can I ask the judges, like, what terms did we not agree on? I feel like we agreed on most of our
We
terms.
didn't. We didn't hammer out exactly what a
I would say
national identity was.
for this topic, when we
I-
were starting getting into like the metaphysics and like shared realities and stuff, I was like, I'm gone. I'm lost. I'm in outer space. Like, this is fucking way too far. I do think the topic is very vague and shit. I do think, like people have said, and like Happy said, it is an important topic to have. And I think I keep forgetting his name, but yeah, the one Destiny debated in Britain and shit is a topic that like
Constantine,
seems like a lot of Constantine. It is a
Trigonometry.
topic that like a lot of people seem to care about. I don't know. There's like two things that's happened. One is like the Reagan talk of, you can go to Germany, but you can't become a German, and only in America can you become an American and shit. And then, dude, I was watching For All Mankind or some shit, and they were like talking about the space race, and Kennedy talking about like, before this decade's out, we're gonna put a man on the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. There's like certain things I'm like, yeah, this is what it fucking means to be an American or some shit. Yeah, at the same time, it is a very difficult idea to have in the sense that, is it a shared thing, or like with Sophie and stuff, she sees it as more like racism undertones and stuff like that, and that's like the American identity. So I definitely think there's some like interesting ground you can like start fighting on and shit on this topic. I don't know what you two think about it.
It is a culture war topic, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong for saying that? Like, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
would say
feel,
so.
I feel like the culture war topics are always just like you can't just boil them down to like, okay, well, like this square goes in this square hole and this circle goes in this circle. Like
Bro.
you sort of do have to rely on vibes,
Exactly.
more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, like because like I was saying earlier, with I don't have a gun to my head about this position. I didn't really like.
I didn't
Where
want
do
to
you
force
get
you
a
into it either.
definition?
I didn't want to I didn't want to be like, well, I needed a definition, because I was
Well,
like,
we would've- yeah,
like,
we
we know
would've
what
just
an
stayed
identity
there.
is, more or less, right? Like we
So
don't
true.
we don't really need to define it as long as we can use it in like a sentence.
And when
Well, I
you're
guess like
out there talking to people in the world, you're not gonna fucking corner them for 40 minutes to get to
Yeah.
the.
I
I
guess
mean, I feel
Buddha,
like if you did survey people, they would
Hmm?
say we don't have a national identity. Like,
Maybe with that
generally.
question, but again, with the few polls I looked at, I was begging, I was trying, I was clawing at the walls for any empirical data of like, do you value the First Amendment? Do you think free speech is good? Things like that. They poll over 70% all the time. But back to your point of like the difference in outcome.
yeah. I guess
And
Buddha, that's what I
also,
was looking for you, is like to give some kind of like what is the shared identity, and like so that Rone actually had something to like go off of, or like to like poke at and shit. Where it just kind of felt like very amorphous for the most of the time.
I mean, I proposed that like the identity was, yeah, like again, like this shared value of like your birth does not determine your worth. It's not that like you can outgrow the circumstances of your birth. It's just that like what should determine your worth is the content of your character, more or
Yeah,
less.
that's why like it feels like with the Trump raids and all this like anti immigrant shit, it just feels so un-American. And just,
Antithetical.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It just feels very antithetical to like what America is and all that shit.
Yeah, but
We
like
all are like,
to a black person,
good.
that is exactly what America is.
yeah,
Like to any
it's not
marginalized
what
group.
we say.
Right,
Wait, what?
exactly. It's not what
It's
you
not
say,
what we
it's
say we are.
I would argue to the civil rights movement that is not what America is. Like,
I'm
Alright.
sorry, what?
Yeah.
I would argue that the civil rights movement like would say that like America is not defined by its white supremacy, but like obviously it's a response to its white supremacy.
Okay.
All right. I think we'll
Or
wrap
at
it
least this
there
was my answer.
for this week's debate night. Same time, same place next week. But I think we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you two for coming up.
Yeah, thanks
And,
guys.
Thanks for having us.
alright. See you
Yeah,
all
thanks.
next week. Bye.
Bye, friends. All right. Bye, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye, Twitch. Bye, Kick.